Well, we're back. Friday is Future Day, but most of us would like to kind of take the day off. And many of us are going to take the day off early because we want to enjoy the weekend. And perhaps those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the summer weekend. And so you have plans for enjoying the summer and perhaps the great outdoors. However, it is time to be thoughtful and perhaps think to yourself, I wonder what really is going on. That in my times of a little bit of wisdom and reflection and relaxation, I could ask for some intellectual and spiritual and emotional and important wisdom in my life. What could I do to do that? Well, today I want to talk about a little bit of what I would call, first of all, unfortunately, the college graduates of today have what I call LKNW. They have their degrees, but they have LK and NW. And we're probably going to try and talk about that as best we can, just briefly, but then flow into a discussion about could AI take your job, replace you, or could it make you irreplaceable? That's a little bit of the chat and conversation for today, and the program begins right now. I remember when my younger brother finally, after working hard, finally graduated from medical school. And that was many years ago. We're kind of an old set of guys right now. And I said, how does it feel to be a real doctor? And he said, well, let me tell you, it's hard to believe that they gave me a degree and called me doctor when I know just how little I really do know. And off he went. Well, of course, as every doctor of wisdom will tell you, is that that's true for sure. They have a limited knowledge, but hopefully they're going to gain a little bit more knowledge all the time. And finally, what they're going to realize is that what they really learned in medical school was interesting, maybe informative, but not very helpful. The helpful stuff came in the experience, not in the education. Well, that's why we have to tell our young people, and this would be one of the talks I would give. Welcome. Now I need to help you understand that you have some knowledge. You have limited knowledge. You don't know very much. It's just impossible. At this age and stage of your life, you don't know much. Now the problem is that when we give you this degree and let you graduate, guess what? You're going to think you're pretty smart. And you probably are pretty smart. And it took quite an accomplishment to do this in many ways. But you have limited knowledge, and you probably have no wisdom. And what we need are people who have growing knowledge and lots of wisdom. And your goal from this day forward should be to, keep learning. Grow in knowledge and in wisdom and in favor with God and man. That's the deal. Ask yourself, is that what you are doing? And how are you doing that every day? Okay, here we go. The first thing we need to know about artificial intelligence is that I have limited knowledge. In fact, I'm doing the smart thing. I have asked a young man who's about generation or two younger than me, but has spent a good deal of his life not in America, actually in India, and has had some experimentation in technology and in the internet technology. He knows something about the Bitcoin phenomenon, and he also knows a little bit about and a growing amount of the artificial intelligence because he's been aware of it for a few years. And so he's being kind of my young counselor on some of those things. I still have a lot more wisdom than he does, but in the area of artificial intelligence and some of that technology, he has far more knowledge than me. Works out well for the most part. I have to keep reminding him that he has a lot of smarts, but he also lacks some other things that perhaps an old man might be able to help him with. And that's a hard sell, but I think he's beginning to get it. Okay, that's who I am. Here we go. What is true of AI can be summarized in these words. Speed kills, and speed wins. All right. That's what 50, 60 years ago we were taught in driver's education. Speed kills. You go too fast, there's a good chance that while you're driving, you might die. Well, of course, it was also true that speed sometimes wins. The speedier you are, you can win the foot race. The faster you are to the market, oftentimes you win market share. So speed surely can kill. You can make a lot of bad mistakes and do a lot of stupid things because you're going too fast. And you can lose, and you can be hurt, and you can hurt others if you have the wrong ways coming to you and through you with speed. Now here's where it wins. Speed in terms of pattern recognition. Putting the dots together, seeing not necessarily the data, but how the data is coming together. It is incredibly fast. And so it is very fast at putting pieces of data and pieces of evidence and patterns of evidence together and being able to come up with a product that could be usable, could be very valuable, could be very helpful. And it saved you time because perhaps you could have come up with that same essay or that same plan in 3 to 5 days of hard work, and it came up with it in 3 to 5 minutes. And it could be that useful to you. So please keep in mind that what we are dealing with is the ability for information, maybe knowledge, seldom wisdom. Information, knowledge, seldom wisdom to come together so that we can have in fast time patterns and places and pieces of evidence of what is, and perhaps a little bit of a clue what might be. Now that's, as I understand it, is basically what all of this is about. Now the problems will be is, of course, what people call the algorithm. That is, who puts in the stuff and who puts in the tracks, the systems that go after the stuff. Because that is a human enterprise, and that's where, if we want it to be safe and sound, it's never going to be there. It's always going to lack safety unless people are wary. It's always going to be not sound. It's also going to be on the edge. It's going to be shaky. It's not sound. It's shaky. Those are the things we deal with. And so here's what I've finally said. In effect, remember that the data you had yesterday is outdated today, and it will be more so tomorrow, so it is seldom a guide on what to do. However, it may be helpful to help you seek the wisdom of design, what you should design and desire and do. Now, one of the things I've been recommending for a number of years is, and again, most people paid no attention to me, all right? But I said you need a CWO. And of course they would say, oh, what's a CWO? I would say you need a Chief Wisdom Officer. You will find it will be very helpful to have somebody who has intellectual, moral, spiritual, and emotional wisdom. And they didn't learn it in college. They didn't learn it in MBA school. They learned it by living successfully in the victories and the tragedies of life. And they can be very helpful. You have an executive officer, you have a chief financial officer, you have a chief operational officer, you have a human resource chief. Who is your chief wisdom officer? And remember, the reason they will be helpful is they have no power, but they have wisdom. And so because they don't have power, they're not playing for more power. They simply know that their value will hopefully not be in the politics they play, but it will be in the wisdom and the compassion and the understanding and the ability to communicate and listen and have a sense of empathy and compassion. And then they make statements like, have you ever thought about? May I suggest? I have a recommendation. May I challenge you? With your permission, I would like to make an observation. With your permission, may I ask you a tough question? Those are the kinds of people that we will need in the AI age. Now, just a brief rundown, okay? Think about all that, okay, grab a cup of coffee. And now I'm going to be thankful and thank somebody, and then I'm going to give you a list of job ideas that might be in trouble. Okay, here we go. This is Interesting Ideas, and we're on the search for wisdom, how to live in an AI age. We'll be right back. Here we go, and I think, all right, write this down. Aytekin. Aytekin. Tank. Tank. Now, I don't even know how to pronounce it because I don't know him. I just know that he wrote a very, very helpful article that appeared in the Startup magazine. And it said, will AI steal your job, or will it make you irreplaceable? And it's one of the better explanations I've seen. Now, I've never heard of him. He's not been on TV that I know. Please keep in mind, the smart, guidance, wise people are seldom the ones you hear on the radio, like me, or see on TV. Here's what he said. So what types of jobs stand a high chance of being replaced by AI? Here he goes. Any job that has one or more of the characteristics outlined below. The more they apply to your job, the more likely it is that your job will be impacted. Here we go. Involves carrying out routine and repetitive tasks. We need people to do that. But involves a standardized set of rules or procedures. Involves physical tasks that follow a fixed, predictable pattern. Obviously, the robots that make cars are going to grow bigger and smarter. Involves the processing and analysis of data. Now, this is why I'm telling many of my former friends, past clients, and still present friends in the financial services industry that, in effect, AI could replace them in it will do financial consulting, counseling, and advising from a bigger source of knowledge than you have, and it will be able to do it much faster, and its guidance may outperform the guidance that you give to your clients. Watch out. Okay, a job that involves basic decision making based on data and common patterns. Does not involve creativity or human judgment. Does not involve the understanding of human emotions. Okay. Now, I would add to that, obviously, the jobs of service that are vital to our well-being. I still point out the man or woman who can do drywall, the man or woman who can do plumbing, the man or woman who knows how to fix the air conditioning. Those kinds of present day repair and human presence handiwork. Remember, human presence handiwork. Those jobs that are done well will probably always find a place in the marketplace. All right. We're done for a Friday. I hope this has been slightly helpful. Let me know how I can help you. What I would like to do in the next few days, starting next week, because this is Friday, and I'm going to take, after a little bit of therapy to deal with some backache, some back pain. You see, I will need someone to do that. The person who will do that backache massage probably can't be replaced. I will need to do that, and that person will help me. And then I'm going to take some time to think and pray and seek wisdom and enjoy the wonderful weather and wonderful weekend. And remember, as I've often said, remember, without prayer, nothing works. We'll always talk about that some other time, but all the best and blessings for you, your family, and your business, and the way you make your living. We pray for those people who are grieved by the Titanic tragedy, but remember, those kinds of events are happening all over the world, all the time. They just don't make the news. So we always pray for those people whose life is not what they want it to be right now. Praying deeply and dearly for those people whose life is not what they want it to be right now. Best and blessings to you. Take care, and bye for now.